It's Sunday, April 26th, 2015, and you're listening to the Film Project Podcast, Episode 76, Nerdgasm. This episode is brought to you by Iron Goat Brewing in Spokane, Washington, Kaufman & Associates at KaufmanInc.com, and O'Doherty's Irish Grill.
What was the clapping for? Is that our slate?
That was the slate for our video.
Since it's not live.
We're learning
we're
learning how to be filmmakers from the podcast.
That's true. That's an HD.
Yeah.
That's an HD camera. Is it Sony?
HDV.
It's HD.
Yeah. Well,
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's
looks
not
all right.
good, but it's not bad.
Talking about
Oh yeah.
Well,
So anyways,
first. I want to go right into your
Oh
camera. I
sure.
want
Yeah.
talk
Welcome
about
to
your camera.
the Film Project Podcast. We're a conversational podcast. We're an extension of the Spokane Film Project. We're at SpokaneFilmProject.com. That's where you can find out what we're doing, what we're all about. We are made possible by Iron Goat.
I don't think I want that
I'm
beer
glad people
anymore.
can see that.
After I just heard him
Yeah. It's Iron Goat
my
make
Brewing.
that noise over the beer.
Yeah. IronGoatBrewing.com. Jason, what are we drinking? What's Juan drinking?
Juan
right now?
is drinking the goat meal stout.
My fave.
I'm
the favorite
curious because every other episode is goat meal stout. So what are we drinking?
Well,
Goat meal stout.
it'll be the one time that I assume it that will be wrong, right?
You're
Where they'll
correct.
say they were
You're
out.
right.
You're correct.
I just love their stout. It's just delicious.
It's very good.
Yeah. Well, is a stout? Is that just darker? Is it a darker?
It's
ale?
on the darker end. It's on
Okay.
the dark end. It's usually a little
It's
heavier.
got a little woody taste.
It's
to it.
it actually does. It's a smoky.
Okay.
No, I know you were
Okay,
trying to make.
yeah.
You're trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
No, you're
They
making
give,
a
they
joke.
give it
but
like
it's-
coffees. You know, like the different
Right,
things that
yeah.
you can do with a coffee. That's what you're doing with a stout.
It's a smoked. What they do is they roast the grains a little bit, and you get almost a woody
They have
smell.
a
Or
little
taste.
They have a little person just get like a Cuban cigar. And he
Oh my
smokes,
God! If
and
they
he
did a
blows-
Cuban cigar
he
stout,
blows.
I would be in heaven.
He blows
a
into
Havana.
it.
Oh come on,
I have Havana
Juan,
stouts.
you know the whole Cuban cigar thing is just. It's just people get excited because it's something they can't have. I've had a Cuban cigar. I smoke cigars too, but they're nothing special.
Hold
they're
on.
good.
Oh, no, wait.
But they're
Wait,
not-
wait.
they're
Did
nothing
you have,
special.
Did you have a Cuban cigar? Actually, a Havana Cuban cigar?
Yes.
Or did you have
No.
a Havana seed Cuban cigar? Do you know the
I
difference?
got one from Cuba. So whatever that means.
Whatever that was.
Are you sure about
it was
that?
yes.
Juan's looking at him.
It was one where a friend of mine actually went and was able to get a real Cuban cigar.
How did he smuggle it out?
I don't know. Through
wanna know.
with his ass.
Yeah.
What was
it tasted
What-
really
what
good.
was it? Never
No,
mind. We'll
I
get
don't
into that
know.
conversation later.
I can't remember.
We're also
long
made
time.
possible by Kaufman & Associates. That's where our beautiful studio is. Brandon's taking a picture right there. What?
You
Yeah, you did not. Just go to the
That-
one.
That was what was
That's
that?
just-
that
that's
sounds
just
like
how
a
it is.
Leslie Knope one
Yeah.
from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I don't watch
What?
that show.
That's
I
a
only,
great
I only
show.
watch Daredevil.
Oh,
Is it as dark
God.
as Daredevil, the Ben Affleck one?
Oh,
The Ben Affleck.
Oh,
the first 20.
the first 20 minutes are so dark.
It's like the dark, stouty, wonderful goodness.
There we go.
Iron Goat's.
Tastes
No,
very woody.
do not ruin my beer. with
Tastes
saying
like
that,
tastes like
please.
a woody. I mean, tastes very woody.
What?
Wait, you're tasting
Are we
Woodies
talking
now?
about Toy Story
Are
now?
you having Woodies now?
I'm
tasting
tasting.
them?
I'm tasting a woody.
Juan and Jason
woody.
had a whole.
Yeah.
Everyone missed Juan and Jason's boner conversation that happened before this, but we can't.
Didn't
talk about
happen.
that. It just didn't happen.
Wait, no. Now we need to elaborate.
Wait,
We're not
we
talking
didn't
about each
have a
other's
boner.
boners.
We talked about boners,
I
and not even our own.
I didn't see each other's.
God, no. This sounds worse than it actually is. The way
you know what? The
Yeah.
more we argue, the worse it sounds.
Yeah,
Actually,
let's
so let it go.
screw it.
So,
And all we were talking about was Boner from TV's beloved.
oh, he died. He played.
Yeah, way to bring it down.
down,
He killed
down,
himself.
down.
God.
He killed himself. He went
God,
to
did
the
he
middle.
really?
He went
I
to the
didn't know
middle
that.
of Stanley Park in Vancouver, BC, and just
Yeah.
hung himself. And they found him a couple of days later.
Way to bring it down,
Really
Tom.
sad. Yeah.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
actually sad. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
That's awful.
At least we're
was
not
actually.
talking over each other now.
Well, I'm one of your hosts. I'm Sean Springer.
This is Tom Deneen.
This is Jason McKee.
And this is Juan Moss.
And this is the first time that we introduced ourselves on camera, because last episode
We forgot to introduce.
we did not introduce ourselves. So, hi, I'm Tom Deneen.
I'm Jason McKee.
Can I flip him off? Or do you have
Can,
can.
yes.
Who cares?
It's on YouTube. And I'm Sean Springer. And then we got here Who's this?
This is Brandon Smith.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you get is that.
That's all.
That's
That's all you
man.
get.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah.
You're gonna have to get a wider lens. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm not staying until that long.
As I think it's pretty
I
wide.
think-
I think it covers everything.
I think
we need.
just to
Yeah,
make
but every
it
time I walk away
just
from
to
the table,
make
it's
the-
all about Jason. Then.
just to make the podcast interesting, we should introduce our friend Teddy, the animated character back here that we'll add later.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
cool.
right, yeah.
Yes.
We've got a blue screen almost.
Yeah.
So.
we should
Wait, so when,
It
so
would
when
be
we go have
interesting.
another phone call in person, we could do the whole like David Letterman lip thing.
No.
Well,
We should.
no, Brandon, can we just use the projector to the screen if we have a phone call like a Skype in?
Actually, we could do that.
That wouldn't be as fun as going Nerdgasm.
I was just gonna put like an iMac over there with their head, so
Yeah.
that they could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
could. It's a good idea.
Well, we almost
phone
had a
guy
call in.
is.
We're just
but
coming
it's
up.
not gonna happen.
We're spitting gold tonight.
Yeah.
So this week, as we're recording this, there was a ton of movie trailers for upcoming films that came out, and I know Brandon definitely wanted to talk about some
Nerdgasm
of
is
these.
the word.
Nerdgasm.
Jason Payne texted me #Nerdgasm. So
And was
Really?
Yeah.
So was that for Star Wars
it was for
or Mad Max?
Yes.
Oh, I'm looking up the Nerdgasm trailer. Well,
It was for Star Wars.
Really quick, Jason Payne being, for those that don't know.
Jason Payne is the post-production supervisor on Z Nation and editor of episode 204.
Wow.
I think
nice.
it's 204.
I mean, he's edited a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I know. He's an editor in his
He's
own right.
editing-
But is he 204 the one?
He's editing at least 204, hopefully more.
Oh, so
but
Alice is one.
Alex is one, and I was about to say a little more information, but I will leave that.
No, you
up
can't.
to-
You can't. You sign that
dun.
document.
Wait.
Dun, dun, dun,
I actually did not sign that document for season 2, so here we go. There we go. Yeah.
Note to self,
Yeah.
tomorrow morning in office,
Yeah.
email
Remember,
Jason.
but remember, you didn't hire him. You hired his company.
Yep.
No, that's true.
So screw you guys. I'm
no,
going home.
your company has to sign one, I believe.
Anyways,
sure.
so-
but we
I
haven't.
guarantee you there's no document like that.
Actually, you know what's funny is
for that company.
we haven't signed a single thing. So there you go.
There you go. You're just working for free.
Yeah, sure.
Right, so are we going to talk about Star Wars trailers?
Star Wars trailer came out. This is the second
The Rogue
teaser
one?
trailer. No,
The
that was
trailer.
a different thing today. The second.
I think we're definitely talking over each other a lot more as the beer gets in us more.
Wait. So which one are we talking about?
We're talking about the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer.
Force
number
Awakens
2.
trailer. Okay, I'm looking at it right.
You haven't seen it yet? So so Juan's gonna watch that. It came out at the Star Wars Celebration. They did also show a trailer for the non episode film, which is Rogue One.
Can we, since like Juan will need audio for this,
Yeah,
so
okay,
we could just
okay.
pause.
We'll
honestly,
pause. Is that doable, Brandon?
Or three.
all right.
I think
So we
it's
just
three.
paused and watched a bunch of trailers.
We had to watch some trailers.
I'm
so
sorry, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I'm a little behind.
He's Juan's always a little behind.
Well-
So
Because I don't sit in front of the computer.
He in the little behinds, but
some of us sit in front of
Do you really want to go on the computer? The whole behind thing now?
what?
What?
I don't
What?
know.
Okay. So the big one, of course, was Star Wars trailer. What's everybody's thoughts? Juan, you just saw it for the first time.
I'm excited just because I love the Star Wars, but I'm not. The trailer didn't like knock me out, except for the things it didn't show me. It's actually what I really liked. The fact, the Luke, the thing with the hand and stuff. So, it's intrigued me. I wouldn't say it's like, woo,
Yeah.
I can't wait because of this trailer.
Yeah.
But it definitely intrigued me.
And it's meant to this trailer is really just to kind of tease people. It's like a second teaser. It's not short by any means, but
I guess what I don't get is everyone's losing their minds over this one.
yeah.
Like the other one was awesome as well.
The
And
first one that we
Yeah,
saw.
well,
yeah.
One of the
and-
things people have been talking about is the Black Stormtrooper.
No one cares about that.
But
what they're talking
that's racist,
about
Sean.
No, they're talking
Well,
about
yeah,
Han Solo.
yeah.
I think talking about Han Solo.
No, but I think
And actually when he said that, I thought he meant the stormtrooper that they show that's like chrome.
The
so
chrome
maybe
trooper.
we're
No, he's talking about
you're
the
talking
actor.
about John Boyega.
Yeah, I'm talking about the actor,
Yeah.
and that's just kind of one of those things that people have been up in arms about, and it.
I have
It's
no
a
problem.
controversy
Why- why-
that has
why
no
they have
ground
to-
because we
why is
haven't
it-
seen the film and we don't know where it comes
why,
from. So,
I just want to understand what people are up armed
Well,
about.
Tom
Let's
is
not get
also
into that
against a black Spider-Man, so that's probably where this is coming
Hey, I
from.
created a page on Facebook
I'm
that
just-
was what's his name for Spidey from Community.
You created that
Donald
page?
Glover.
Donald Glover for
You
Spidey.
were the only
No, I created one of the 7 million Donald Glover
So,
for
wait,
Spidey.
so what is it
Facebook
you're
pages.
saying? No, seriously, I'll seriously, I don't understand
because
what
in the
people are saying.
previous films, as we saw it, the stormtroopers were all clones of the same person,
Correct.
and
Right.
so now, but
Really?
that yes,
Yes.
Wait,
okay.
wait. This is the story.
No. Okay,
Of-
basically, okay. In the first the first 3 released Star Wars films, 4, 5, and 6, you never saw under a stormtrooper's mask. It was then
heard
discovered
them,
that
though.
clone troopers who we believe to have become stormtroopers were all clones. So
This was never in the movies, though.
yeah,
it was.
Yes, it was.
Which ones?
No, the first,
Prequels.
okay, New Hope, Empire, and Jedi, you never saw a stormtrooper out of mask, so it didn't matter who they were underneath.
Those are the only ones. that matter.
Aside from the fact that it probably was played by a bunch of guys,
And they used the same
England.
voice
And I-
actor for all the stormtroopers.
They not in the original,
No, in the
not
original, they
edits.
were. I mean, they were clearly white sounding in
Yeah.
the original films.
In the prequels, it was
The whole
established
movie
that
was white sounding.
yeah.
in the prequels, it was established that all of the clone troopers were cloned from the same person. It was always the same actor who played every clone. So
They also added midi-chlorians, so I just kind of throw out the
no,
first.
but I'm just saying-
I just have a question.
Yeah.
I want to. But wasn't it the bounty hunter?
Well, and the guy who was the clone, he wasn't a white guy. He was, I think, he was
the bounty hunter.
islandish.
Yeah, he was. He was definitely
Yeah.
probably
talking about
It's
the bounty hunter.
yeah,
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Yeah,
He's
Boba-
not
Jango
white.
Fett was his.
Right.
Jango
But
Fett.
his chromosomes or whatever, what was used to make the clone?
Boba Fett. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question, people are just saying, wow, there's a black stormtrooper. So fans who don't care if it's a black stormtrooper, this is showing them that something changed from the Clone Wars.
Are
to
we
something else.
are we
Right.
positive
We're not
that he's
positive. That's
actually
what
a
I'm
storm?
saying.
No.
But are we positive that he's actually a stormtrooper
No,
and not one
no,
of them
we're not.
in a suit?
Thomas positive.
Because Han Solo was in a
I
suit.
know. By this
But
logic,
Han
if you
Solo
watch,
was Boba Fett.
Oh, okay.
But both
by
Han
this
He's actually
logic-
Boba Fett's father.
Now we're talking
Now we're
over each
talking.
other.
yeah, both Han and Luke. Yes, both Han and Luke were in a suit. They stole a stormtrooper suit in the first of the Star Wars films that was
And they went
released.
to that wacky bar.
But I'm not making
ones.
commentary myself about a black stormtrooper. I'm just saying that one of the controversial things is that there is a stormtrooper that
And I
is
asked,
appears to be
why
black.
is it controversial? Because of
Right.
the storyline or because he's black?
because of all the fans. There
of
are
the
many
storyline.
fans, that believe that storyline and that there are many others. There's a large number of other publications that have fan fiction or published fiction of the Star Wars world that tell slightly different stories that would cover this fact. But we don't know, as Brandon is saying, we don't know who this person is.
we don't know the storyline.
And,
We don't know why he's wearing a stormtrooper outfit. By this logic, if you watch the trailer for New Hope and then you saw Luke Skywalker in a
You would
stormtrooper
think
outfit,
he
you'd be
was a
like, "Oh my god,
stormtrooper."
this is horrible."
I love when Brandon gets all passionate and starts yelling from the other side of the
ridiculous.
room.
Absolutely, Brandon.
But it
It's
is
controversy
ridiculous.
over nothing. You have no evidence for
It's
anything.
also just a movie.
This is why.
Star Wars is just a movie.
This
It's
is
not
why-
the friggin' Bible.
Talking
It's
about
just
Star
a
Wars.
movie.
When you're mistaken.
No,
it's not.
It
just
is
a movie.
bigger than a movie,
It's not
but
just
it
a
is
movie.
still just a movie.
It's not just a movie, but it's talking about our future.
No, Star Wars is the past.
No, it is.
Oh,
clear-
really?
Yeah.
A long time ago in a galaxy far,
Yeah.
far away.
Oh,
Although this
so
film-
everything we screwed up, and this is how we end up all screwed up.
Although this film will open with just a few years ago in a galaxy far, far away.
in a universe.
Don't go parallel universe. No,
No. I don't mean parallel universes, but in a star system parallel to our own, so nearby.
Yeah, hopefully.
I always did
So it's
like
not
that,
far
though.
away. It's nearby.
I want to.
in a galaxy nearby just a few years ago.
I want to see the. I want to go meet the Gonk droid.
Man, I
No.
can't get by. I can't get past. I just.
So
I don't know.
everybody take
Let me
30
ask politically.
seconds.
Let me ask politically. I want to ask. to
Ron
understand-
Paul 2016.
No. Because since he's
Dukakis 2016.
having sold all the Star Wars stuff to Disney,
Yeah.
how much say did the Disney family have to say with what we're about to see?
So basically, this is what happened
Disney had more.
when it first sold. They announced they were going to continue making films. There's going to be episode 7, and then they're going to start making what are now called anthology stories that will exist in the Star Wars universe, but they're
Like the Boba Fett films
They're
and
one-offs. They'll do a Boba Fett film. The first film they
Doubt
announced.
they're
But
one-offs.
they're already doing the
Rogue
animation
One.
stuff too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
The Clone Wars on
also-
Disney Channel.
Yeah, that's separate, but that was before
You're
Disney.
talking about the Rainn Wilson.
But
and
it's on the
Gareth
Disney Channel, so
Edwards
they still have
films.
say in what's being done with the
Yes,
project.
yes,
Is my point.
yes.
So how much say did Disney have to do with this?
What basically Kathleen Kennedy, who was a producer on the Indiana Jones films, has become the creative control. Her and J.J. Abrams are now the creative control of Star Wars.
Spielberg's producer, Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So originally,
So where's Lucas on this whole picture?
George Lucas originally had a story set out for the next 3 films. That film was then adapted by the writer of Toy Story 3, and then apparently somewhere along the way,
that?
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the writer for Toy Story 3 adapted the film, and then J.J. Abrams from that decided they would go in a direction that would involve the original cast more. So there's actually George Lucas has a lot of side stories that have existed in various forms throughout different novels and different books and stuff that
Can I ask? I mean,
Yeah.
this is really an educational one because I do remember that. I remember when Star Wars, when I was younger and Star Wars first came out and all that, and then also all these books were coming out, these sci-fi books.
They did a TV show of the Ewoks.
okay.
They did a TV show for but my question is, how much control did Lucas have of these side sheet stories? Because I remember reading I remember as a high school, maybe freshman or so, reading a whole book on Star Wars that was like storyline supposedly after the fact of the last movie that I had
That was
seen.
called Splinter of the Mind's
Yes.
Eye by Dean
Yes.
I read that in high school,
Whoa,
too.
well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly the one I'm talking about. I still have the original copy.
He had very little in the sense that he's always kind of let other people play in this world, and the movies were always his. So he's also come out recently saying this is the first film where they're not using a lot of his ideas, and he said he's completely hands off. He's not producing. He's not having anything to do with it. And he said basically he wants to be able to experience the series like everyone else would. So Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm sure there's people at Disney who are in charge, but Disney who have been very smart with the Marvel properties, leaving all the creative control with key Marvel people. Their ideas don't break it if it's don't try to fix it if it's not broken.
Don't Disneyfy it.
So creatively,
That's my biggest concern, it becoming Disneyfied.
I think we'll find out that a bit of Lucas's planned out storyline has worked its way into this, but I think they did take it in a different direction. I don't think we'll know for a couple of years or after stories come out or original scripts come out, because with the original films, there's a great book called the Annotated Screenplays, where they have the screenplay of the original trilogy films, and it has these sidebars of the different variations of what happened from script to script, because his original treatment was one thing. Star Wars became a variation of that. And even when they were writing the Empire Strikes Back, the original scriptwriter for that died right shortly after completing the script, and it was completely rewritten by George Lucas. And then, there's been many changes. So I guess that's a long way to answer your question. He doesn't have any involvement, really.
But my biggest fear. Listen, I'm not bashing Disney because there's a lot of Disney things that I watch with my kids, and there's things that I see that it's their base. I'm all right with, but this whole Star Wars, it's a different thing. It's like.
Juan's
No,
Look,
sorry,
but Juan,
I'm teasing. But you know what I'm
you
saying?
see where it went when Lucas did direct the episode 1, 2, and 3. That's still Lucas. That's what he wanted. But there's a problem there. What is that problem?
Jar
I
Jar
don't know.
Binks.
Yeah, well, that's part of the problem, but there's a
What
bigger
is that
problem.
I don't think it's.
You don't think Jar
There's-
Jar Binks is a problem?
I don't.
I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people do.
I would say
Why
there's-
is he a problem?
There's a very
He's an
vocal-
Does
annoying-
it just turn into a Star Wars episode?
He's
it
an
will be. It
annoying
will be.
character. Look, I was not one of the people that was instantly annoyed by Jar Jar Binks. There were a lot of people that were very, very vocal about it.
Yeah.
But those films are very cartoon. If that's what you want, then great, that's what you're getting. But this does not look like that. I couldn't be more in the camp of J.J. Abrams' vision from what I can tell so far.
Yeah.
And Disney's projection of where they're going with Rainn Johnson and Gareth Edwards.
Doing episode 8.
Yeah. And Gareth Edwards doing a Boba Fett film, I believe.
Rogue One, I think they called it.
Okay. Yeah. These are some of the best filmmakers of those genres that they can afford.
Yeah.
Working today, and they're up and coming directors.
They couldn't get us.
Well, it's Gareth. Look, what's awesome is Gareth Edwards was someone where, like, I kind of found myself akin to. He was someone who was just the visual effects. No, actually, Juan, you were telling me you almost worked on a film that he directed, which was his very first film. It was
Monsters?
It was a Genghis Khan TV show.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
you know
yes,
the
yes,
way
yes.
he got himself into it was he was a visual effects artist. Now, I'm sure he was a good visual effects artist at that time, but he was just a visual effects artist.
Are you talking Marco Polo?
No, I'm talking
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Several years ago.
Earlier in the 2000s, but he was just a visual effects artist who said, "Look, I will do all your visual effects for you for free if you let me direct." And they go, "All right, that's a no-brainer, but yeah, let's make him think that it's a big decision of ours." So they let him direct, and he knocked it out of the ballpark with that. Then after that, nothing really came. So he did it on his own, and he made Monsters.
I never knew about the
Monsters. Yeah, but what's crazy is I've been watching, like, because regardless of what the knowledge I know still now, I still watch tutorials on stuff that I know how to do because it reinforces everything. So I learn new things, it reinforces, and he did a great thing he did a great tutorial series.
You're too Irish drunkies.
Juan's like talking in the background. Yeah. No, he did a great tutorial series on how to do guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah.
And so I've been watching him. I've known about him for a long time, and then he makes Monsters, which is just, it's a brilliant film on how to actually make a film like in a very smart way.
And that was in the several $100,000. It wasn't a $1 million film, I don't believe.
No, that was not in the several $100,000. Here's the deal. That was made for $15,000.
Okay.
The actual film was made for a ridiculously low $15,000 mark.
Wow.
Now, when they ended up selling it, it got bumped up into the couple $100,000 to finish audio and all that stuff. And
the 2003 Monsters?
Yeah. No, that's Monster. No, Monsters.
That's how I was confused. I'm like, he did the thing with Charlie Theron?
No.
Okay.
Monsters with Scoot McNairy.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually now Scoot McNairy is a very well-known character actor now, but this is kind of what got him going. Mm-hmm. And then now he's in Argo and all that. But if you haven't seen Monsters, I suggest everyone watch it because it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and it is filmmaking at its finest. For you deal with what you can, what you're given. Yeah. And now this guy's directed Godzilla. Yeah. The most recent. Right. And then now he's doing
In the Shadows
Star Wars.
I love the idea that we're getting great directors to do the Star Wars films. I'll always be a defender of all 6 films in that it is one person's, vision, and I think they're hugely entertaining. I think it's very easy to nitpick them because there's
Attila the Hun. It wasn't Genghis Khan. That's what was confusing
Attila the Hun, but that is the film you.
Yes, it was Attila the Hun, but Genghis Khan, Attila Hun.
Yeah.
We'll do the history lesson later.
There's a very vocal community that did not like the original films, but there's a whole generation now where the prequel films.
Yeah. I will be the first one to tell you right now. Yeah. You guys are all too young. I was already in college when the first Star Wars came out. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching it, and there was this huge hoopla about it. And I'm like, all right, I'll go see this movie. Probably that's what it was. It was the hoopla behind it. I sat down and watched it, and I'm watching the movie. I'm like, this is Searchers. This is John Ford.
Well, that's kind of the point.
That was the point.
But I wasn't aware of that at that point, okay? This is like freshman year in college, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, this is Searchers. This is John Ford. I don't see what the big deal about it was. it wasn't later, and I will be completely honest, it wasn't years later that I appreciated what he did with that storyline and what he did with that project. But I will be honest with what did he call them?
The special editions or the prequels?
The special edition ones?
Yeah.
When those,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Really, just to add an
yeah,
extra.
I was like, I had 30
extra-
seconds more of this guy going, oh,
See,
Matt
we've,
Walker there.
we've talked about we'll try to wrap this up. We've talked about Star Wars a bunch of times. My only
We gotta do a
concern
whole
is
Star
I'd
Wars
rather
thing when
talk
this
about
opens
Star
up.
Wars
Okay.
and Gotham.
Oh.
What the hell are we doing?
No, I agree. I think we should do a whole special podcast and get it totally interactive right before the weekend before this opens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can go for it.
I mean, and review, go back and look at the original series. We got to look at the Lucas.
We need to find the original series on Laserdisc
Oh.
so that we see them without any of the
They
modifications.
exist on
Yeah.
DVD if you want to watch a crappy
Yeah,
quality.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess what my point I'm trying to say is with this film, I want it to still be in the spirit of all 6 films. There is a consistent spirit throughout all the films. If you don't like certain aspects of episodes 1, 2, and 3, I think you could write a textbook on how they're in the spirits
just
of
for
the
kids.
first 3.
And I think we've already asked this before. Maybe it was with Boyd. I don't think he was here. What's your favorite of the original ones?
Oh, of the original Return of the Jedi.
Turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. It's
That's number 2, right?
Number
it's
3.
Star Trek.
Number 3.
It's A New Hope and
He likes Search for Spock.
No, it's It's A New Hope and
No, what's
Empire
your favorite?
Strikes Back.
You got to pick a favorite. He has a favorite.
Well, no, I'm
Honestly-
separating. I'm separating the
Honestly,
original
yeah.
ones and then the prequel
Oh,
ones.
the favorite of each.
Of each, yeah.
Mine will be controversial.
All right. So you chose.
I'd say of the originals, Jedi, and of the prequels, it's actually Phantom Menace.
Okay.
the first
think
one.
I'm
That's the first one,
I think
right?
I'm
Yeah.
the exact opposite. It is the first or second. They're about the A New Hope or
Empire.
Empire Strikes Back. To me, they're pretty close to the same. Return of the Jedi is a bit different. Although the younger me liked Return of the Jedi a lot more because it became a little more cartoony. But of the prequels, it's the last one
Revenge of the Sith.
because they get a little darker.
Yeah.
But even George Lucas was disappointed when he made the first Star Wars because he showed up on the set of Close Encounters and he was like bummed. He goes, "This is the film that I was trying to make, and I feel like I just made a kid's cartoon." He was like, he was feeling like
I need to sit down with George and some stout and talk about that because he's completely.
I don't know. I think
but no, he's not completely wrong. The first Star Wars is very campy.
No, but it's an enjoyable. There's no way you're telling me it's that Close Encounters.
No, I'm not saying that. He's talking
He
tone.
meant the tone, yeah.
He's talking tone. He was not trying to literally make Close Encounters.
what
but
happened. What part of the
But
story
even
might
the
be is
tonality, I'm not sure if I do.
Spielberg was making Close Encounters at the same time that Lucas was doing Star Wars, and they had a bet which film would be bigger, and the winner got points on the other person's film.
Well,
nice.
not so much the winner. They did trade
points.
How about we trade points? And
Yeah.
Spielberg's joking, and this is actually in the commentary for Close Encounters. He goes, "I think I made out a little better than he did."
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because Star Wars blew up and became this huge thing, but tonally, George Lucas liked Spielberg's film much more. And I'm more. Personally, I've always been more of a Close Encounters fan.
I can see what you mean. Yes, I understand.
That's what I'm talking about. And I love the early Lucas so
what's your
much.
answer?
So to see him doing the cartoony stuff with the prequels kills me because I'm more. THX 1138 is freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
So Tom,
So
your
your answer-
favorite.
I already told you.
Your answer was again.
Episode 3 for the original ones, or for the prequels, and then
prequels.
I can't tell you it's A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back are the same. to me.
So Jason's not playing.
Wait. New Hope is.
New Hope is the 1977.
All right,
original.
then I'll go with Empire Strikes Back. So I
Okay.
choose two directors.
There we
It's
go.
Lucas and Irvin
There you
Kershner.
go.
There you go.
So Tom,
Really, Empire Strikes Back and the prequels. I didn't like any of them.
Oh, poor little baby.
I really
anyway,
didn't.
So
why are
Yeah, why?
why are you discrediting Tom because he has a different opinion than you?
because there's this opinion of it's too cool.
No, it's not too cool. They're cartoony. The first three, you can like them.
We can
but they are
watch Empire
definitely
Strikes
cartoony.
Back.
Wait, he's not gonna play. Wait, stop. Can Tom talk?
Yeah.
Why, Tom? All right. Anyways,
He won't.
No, but Tom
Seriously,
didn't get a chance to talk. All
seriously,
right, go.
Why you don't like any of the prequels?
I felt
He's gonna say rape my childhood.
Why don't you let him
No.
talk?
I don't want to say that they were too cartoony, but they just because I am a person that I do love cartoons. I will watch Animaniacs and
So do I.
enjoy the
Wait,
hell out of
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm lost here. You guys telling me that the prequels are cartoony?
Yeah.
I'm on one. Let him finish, but I know exactly. where you're going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Go on.
It was. I mean, I didn't get into it. I didn't get into the whole Anakin Skywalker character that he's some genius kid. I didn't get into it. Maybe I was too old for it emotionally. I don't know what the hell. They didn't move me.
I think there's something to be said where there was about a year after episode 1 came out, everyone was suddenly disappointed with it. You can read reviews, you can read online stuff when it happened.
I was
People were into it.
disappointed.
And that's
when
fine.
I walked
I'm
out
not
of the theater.
I don't want to discredit the experience you had, but there is this sense of
Wait, was somebody talking in front of you?
I can show you a million moments from Empire where everybody says that's the serious dark one, and then I can show you just as many really goofy moments that are out of character from what people assume a Star Wars movie should be. My thing has always been, I don't want this dark, super dark, brooding Star Wars movie, because at the end of the day, George Lucas himself has said it's about a guy flying a spaceship with his dog. And that was the fun, and that was the spirit that he wanted to.
So Jar Jar is his dog?
No, I'm saying Chewbacca was.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So Mel Brooks captured
which
that
is-
perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is,
Yeah.
Are you seriously
talking
telling me that
Han
he
and,
he didn't want the prequels to be so dark?
No, I'm saying the entire series was meant to be for kids, and they were supposed to be
the
fun.
original concept.
They're
Okay,
fun
yeah,
adventure
yeah.
films. The prequels get very dark, and Attack of the Clones, or not Attack of the Clones. Revenge
number
of the
two?
Sith.
What's number
Attack
two?
of the Clones is number.
I mean,
two.
it's
Number two gets extremely dark when freaking what's his name goes and slaughters all those
Exactly.
kids.
Yeah.
You know,
to be
that's
honest,
extremely dark.
if I were going to teach a class on how not to act and how not
Okay,
to
we're-
write
Yeah.
dialogue, I would show all 3 of the prequels.
I would
because they are
my
atrocious.
argument to you with that is
Yeah.
I don't know if you can.
I love.
I don't know if you can hear and this comes this. You cannot destroy dialogue because of badly presented dialogue. Because it's not the dialogue.
But it is the dialogue.
No, I disagree.
I don't know
You go back-
anyone who could say that dialogue good.
Pick me one line that I'll pick
He's
a
gonna
line.
act it out.
Pick
Say-
a line. No, I can't.
Say, well,
I
if
can't
you
with
could look
shit.
up some dialogue from
And I will
When my
get
battery's
you.
dead.
Next episode, seriously, give me like a list of lines, and I will get some friends of mine to perform it, and I bet you that you like the dialogue.
Yeah.
No, I really like some of those actors.
Especially if one of them is naked and it's a girl.
Yeah, I really like some of those actors that were in the prequels, but I mean, it is atrocious. It is beyond atrocious.
Is it any worse from? But I was going to go to Tashi Station to
Okay,
pick up the power
I
converter.
hate to say this because
No, that is really bad.
We're gonna
That
get
is
lost.
really bad.
We're gonna get lost. I think this is
We
Joe-
already did.
No,
No, but
We were
no,
going
I
to do
think- no,
30
wait, I
seconds
said-
reaction
Yeah.
each
And I
to the
think
trailer.
I do think that this means really a deeper conversation with Star Wars. What's his name? The kid that played Darth Vader, young Christian.
Oh, Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. I was a huge fan of him until he did the Star Wars stuff. Okay, so
He's
that's-
great in Shattered Glass, and
oh,
that's about it.
No, in House.
No, I don't like him.
I love him in House.
Anyway, sorry.
In
I love it.
Life is a House.
Life is
I
a
don't
House.
like him.
But the point is, we can go back to that. So, all right.
I already answered. Empire Strikes Back, and I didn't really like any of the prequels.
None of the prequels.
Empire with Jedi being a strong second. I think the space battle in Jedi is probably the best space battle in film history. I'm just gonna leave it there. But That's my thought. As far as the prequels, I liked the second one, Attack of the Clones. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I liked where it was going with the bounty hunter idea, and then we got to see new worlds, and I liked the ocean world. So I agree with everything that's been said about tearing them apart. I think if you tear them apart and look at microscopically some of the pieces that were in there, they were visually stunning, great for their time. Unfortunately, badly pieced together. And I agree, the dialogue is atrocious. I don't even know if you could get the best actors in the world to try it out. It's not going to work.
We're going to try next week.
Yeah, but we're going to try next week. But overall,
You guys got to pick the lines. Give me the four worst
my
lines.
gosh,
Give me the four worst lines. Not right now, but later. Moving
Yeah,
on.
we will.
but I think the second one was good. And I agree. I liked Hayden Christensen. I saw Life as a House after I saw the Star Wars films. I was like, oh, something he can act. And then I realized, well, he doesn't have a lot of lines in Life as a House also. So,
You know, I actually say I changed it from A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back to just Empire Strikes Back because he's not a whiny little teenager.
you're
in
right.
Empire
He's
Strikes.
not a whiner.
It's gonna
Yeah.
power converters.
Yeah.
But
So-
there's some cool stuff.
Okay, so the topic Brandon wanted to get onto was the Batman versus Superman trailer.
That was my choice. Jason wants me to rant about it. So.
I will.
Yeah. No, yeah. Let's.
Wait, can the camera follow him to the bathroom?
Oh, we should.
We
Yeah,
should, just-
Yeah, it's definitely.
Should we do a deleted scene where Jason's in the bathroom?
No, I can just be Jason.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I can't give my rant now because
No,
Jason's gotta hear it.
we'll fill until he comes back. So Zack Snyder also released the trailer for Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice, and that's coming out.
So comic book wise, let's discuss that. Why do they have these two guys? Because I remember that in the comic book series, that why do they have these two battle it out?
Okay, well,
And then later there's a version, if I remember correctly, there's a
trailer?
version. Yeah, no, not in the trailer, in the comic book world. Because sometimes I'm very hesitant on the little things that I do know of the comic book world. I like it. I hope that the films keep true to those worlds that's been created. There's an aspect of those worlds that have been thought out to a certain extent.
There's so many
variations
of the storyline. Like one of them is that there's concern that, and it from the trailer, that's what this looks like. There's concern that there's this super powered person that, well, how do we defend ourselves from this person? And in some of the cartoon versions of the Justice League,
Yeah.
Batman they actually have like a great episode in one of the recent reiterations of it is they're at the Justice League Hall of Justice and they get trapped there by all of Batman's traps that because Batman has concocted a way
Jason's
to
coming
defeat
in at the best
every
time.
single Batman has concocted a way to
But wasn't
defeat every
Batman
single
part of the
yeah.
Justice League?
Well, no. Okay, so what it is
That's
you
why I
have
get confused.
you have 75 years of history of comics coming out. This
This
literally
is probably the dorkiest episode.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
There is literally 2 to 3 Batman comics and 2 to 3 Superman comics coming out every week for the last 75 years. That's not an exaggeration.
Right,
There's
right.
variations of these comics. So you have every story possibly told. Sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're arguing over the silliest of things, sometimes
they're fighting over a girl. I don't know.
exactly, which they've fought over Lois Lane before. But what this film specifically is going towards thematically is
So who does Wonder Woman?
there was Superman does, depending on what issue you're in.
That's what I thought. I thought Wonder
Yeah.
Woman and Superman hooked up.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
So what this is basing off thematically is the 1980s graphic novel The Dark Knight Returns. In that, Batman is this side character who has kind of retired for a long time, and Superman is this agent of the government who is being used as a weapon. So when you're watching this trailer, there's some imagery of people not necessarily trusting Superman. And I think it's playing off themes of, you can't trust the government. You can't trust this all-powerful, all-knowing figure. And I don't know anything about the film or what they're going to draw off compared to the comics. But at some point, Batman's going to, something's going to happen between them and they're going to have to square off. So there's a lot of imagery from this that is tied to that Dark Knight Returns comic.
Okay, so let me ask one other question because I own a copy of the hard book copy of Superman's Death.
Oh yeah.
Okay, So is this after that?
Okay, well, and again, what happens in the comics?
Who kills Superman's death is kills
Doomsday.
Doomsday, right?
What happens in the comics world is literally every 10 years, someone resets the clock. So there at some point, Superman
I wish we could
was
do that in real life.
no, but Superman the same way. 25 years ago, Superman or Batman was Michael Keaton fighting Jack Nicholson. At a certain point, they reset the clock to Christian Bale, and now they're resetting the clock.
Even before then, they kind of reset the clock when they did.
That's actually a good explanation too, because it's difficult to understand comic book history, and even the actual comic book companies themselves have tried to reset, like do hard resets on storylines.
They do it all the time.
They do it all the time, and then they contradict themselves again.
Well,
so just consider these films
It'd be great to
another
get Kevin Smith
contradictory
podcast
path.
people do like a little combination podcast thing. Because
We
this
all
is
gotta
way
be-
over my head.
We all gotta be smoking a lot more weed, man.
At a certain point, Batman was.
I have some right here.
Yeah.
At a certain point, Batman was literally fighting Hitler in the comics.
Yes, I
for
remember that.
4 or 5 years. You're not that old, but for 4 or 5 years.
No, I remember looking
Yes,
back
yes,
at those
yes.
things. Yeah.
So they literally reset the clock, and in the 1980s they reset the clock. In the 1990s, they basically come out and say everything you saw before this is gone.
Doesn't matter.
About 4 years ago, they did the same thing in DC Comics. They said everything before is gone. There's a couple of story elements that always still exist. Batman always had a Robin. Certain storylines still existed. Green Lantern, a couple of stories still existed, but they had to fit them.
Wait, didn't Robin go become the
Night
night guy?
Exactly, but
Nightcrawler?
so
No.
Nightwing.
Night Ranger.
They're crossing
Yeah,
franchises.
sorry.
So Marvel Comics does it. Every comic company has to do it. So what you read in The Death of Superman, that was 1993.
Right.
That was all erased about 4 years ago. So
he never died.
he never died.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Wait, so can I do my own version where Superman and Wonder Woman do it, and then we have a super baby?
They've
already done it.
That in the new they don't have a super baby, but in the new continuity, they're a couple. Whereas before Superman was with Lois Lane,
Right.
but there's been other continuities where he was with a mermaid girl for several years. I know that sounds weird, but
What did Aquaman have to say about this?
he was not happy. Aquaman was not happy.
Already a rough
Aquaman
relationship between
Aquaman should just
landwalkers.
die.
All right,
already.
let's
So
in Jason
so
McKee's
Brandon-
words, let's move us out of the nerd world.
No,
Yeah.
but Brandon wants to have his say.
Hey,
about
say,
it.
go for it.
I didn't want to have my say. Jason just so everybody.
I
was
want to know. I just want to know because you were pretty vocal about hating the trailer.
I love the outfit, the Batman outfit, though.
Maybe I was coming off of the hype
He's
of
got
the entire
multiple
week.
suits, though.
Yeah.
That's not Batman's outfit. Is not just the one where he's got white and it's steel
Well,
outfit.
I mean,
Well, that's
even
'cause
the
he's
doll-
trying to
the-
fight- in
in the comics and in the doll figures, he's always had multiple suits.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I don't get.
Depending on who he was fighting.
I mean, if you think about it, like, come on, how can Batman ever fight Superman? If Superman can pick up a world,
no, here's how. Do you bleed?
Yeah.
that's a pretty awesome part of the trailer.
And I mean, to answer that question,
Oh, look at him go.
real quick,
No.
to answer that question, it's very simple. How does Batman fight Superman?
Kryptonite.
No,
Superman's
that's
a stupid character, and he always beat with
No, that's
kryptonite.
true. And every writer who has ever been told, if you're a freelance writer and they come to you and say, I want you to write the best comic ever where Superman fights Batman and make it intriguing and make it 6 issues long, that's a challenge. And when they do fight, it's interesting. And when you read Dark Knight, if you read Dark Knight Returns, it's really good. They made an animated version of it. It was a
Dark Knight
two-parter.
Returns, the comic, or is there a book? Or
There's a book, and about 2 years ago they did a animated. It was a 2 films. They did an direct-to-video animated films that adapted The Dark Knight Returns, and it's a must-see. I mean, it's maybe the best Batman film they've ever done.
Didn't they animate year one with that? Or
Yeah,
no?
that one was so. They've done a lot of animated films, but they went all out to do Dark Knight Returns is pretty much next to Watchmen is considered the greatest graphic novel of all time.
Oh, graphic novel.
Yeah.
I'm not in the
Wait, so
Watchmen camp.
Can we go?
But
over there?
anyway.
Can we go?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking it's just because I came off of a very good week of Daredevil, Star Wars trailers. What else happened?
Mad Max.
Mad Max trailers. I think even the new Ant-Man trailer.
Pitch Perfect 2.
Pitch Perfect 2. So I was really on a high.
Yeah.
And then I was actually, we were in the middle of, we were sitting on the couch and I was watching episode like 12 of Daredevil. I was getting ready for like the very last one here. And there was a tweet that came across about Batman and I was like, oh no, they released the trailer. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this. So I watched it sitting on the couch.
Sorry, were you, prior to this, what were your thoughts on Batman versus Superman?
I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Okay, so you're going into it negative.
I am going into it negative only because I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder.
Okay.
I think I'm actually, like, visually and even story-wise, I feel like nothing is connecting for me so far. So then I watched the trailer. One, I have qualms about calling a trailer a teaser when it's over 2 minutes long, and the only reason it's a teaser is because you see nothing out of this teaser.
Yeah.
But really,
I'm tired of voiceovers. I'm tired of these like
kind of nitpicking because that has nothing to do with the actual imagery in the film, in the show.
In the trailer, but I'm talking about the trailer.
Let him have his space.
So right now we're referring to my comment on Facebook, calling
it's not justified, but let him have
I
it.
said it was very underwhelming.
Okay.
So that's what I said on Facebook, and it was underwhelming to me because I had a voiceover of a bunch of people talking about Superman and how he's the false god. He's, we shouldn't be following him. Yada yada yada. That's great.
Hold on. So you tell me you didn't like...
No, you got you.
No,
because
he just said that he's not a big fan of... I thought you were a fan of Legend of the Guardian.
Legend of the Guardian.
Legends of the Guardians.
Yeah.
No.
Guardians. That's the Owl movie. The Owls of Ga'Hoole.
The Owls of Ga'Hoole?
Yes.
I've actually never seen the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Kind of a cool movie.
It is
actually.
cool.
So,
and you didn't like 300 or Watchmen?
No story, but
300 visually, yes, that part was good. I feel like Zack Snyder brings his visuals.
I'm just trying to
with
remember
him.
the conversation you and I have had. That's why
Yeah.
I'm throwing these out there. And then what's the other one? The Dawn of the Dead. The 204 one.
Dawn of the Dead's pretty good.
Oh, dang it.
Pretty
He
sweet.
did that one?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm taking it back on that one.
Okay,
Because that was actually really
all right.
well done.
You know what's
I'm sorry.
interesting is I haven't watched Dawn of the Dead in forever, and I'd be in because I don't think of that as a typical Zack Snyder film.
No, it doesn't
Well, I
really
bet
feel like
because
it.
it's got a lot of it's got a lot of homage to the original.
Well,
so.
and I think
it
it's
does.
low
also
budget
pretty
as well.
artsy.
Lower budget.
Like there's some
good
artsy
shots in that one.
in
Yeah,
stuff,
there
where it's
are.
slower.
Yeah.
It's not as like flashy. Anyway,
So
going
I'll
back
take
to
it back that I do like one thing that Zack Snyder has done, and 300 was a visual. Yes, it looked great, but not liked it. I'm just tired of these types of trailers where we call it a trailer, we don't get much out of it. I know what Batman looks like. I know what Superman looks like. Yes, this is great. We got to see Ben Affleck making one pose. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There was nothing about this that made me go, oh, wow, this is something new. This is something
I
completely
disagree
the
with you.
same.
And I'll tell you where I disagree with you. The whole voiceover of all the newscasts when they're flowing in on
Boring.
To you, it's boring. To me, that's backstory. That's a lot of backstory.
Yeah.
There's even a woman there whose voice I want to check sounded like Democracy Now.
Well, yeah, it sounds like they used Neil deGrasse
Lakshmi
Tyson
Singh?
as well.
What's that?
Lakshmi Singh.
No, Amy, what's Amy? Oh my God, Democracy Now! Right now. In other words, they use like real news people who like bring out these like.
Well, there was
critical
Charlie
stories.
Rose was in it.
Charlie Rose is in there.
Lex Luthor was in it, but
The real
it's
Lex Luthor or
yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg?
Well, is it Lex Luthor or Lex Luthor?
I don't
I've
know.
heard
Probably
it
depending on-
I've always gone by
My point
Lex
is,
Luthor.
my point is that
think
whole
it's
voiceover,
Luthor.
put the pushing on that statue concept of like we create a god. This is typical what we do as a society. As human beings, we put them on a pedestal,
Yeah.
and now it's like, you know what? They ain't that perfect. They got flaws. You know,
I
Didn't
think
do it for me.
being the one in the room wearing a Batman
Amy
hat.
Goodman. That's who I was
Yeah.
thinking of. Amy
Me
Goodman.
being the person in the room wearing a Batman hat who I have loved everything Zack Snyder has done except for Man of Steel, which
that's the one with the-
I've grown. Yeah,
It's the one before this one.
Yeah, the baseball.
the same
one,
canon.
right? The baseball.
no. It's the one that just came out. The one
Yeah,
that
well, with Kevin Costner.
The one where they have five
Yeah,
different
yeah,
endings.
yeah.
The one where they had to
Baseball.
make Superman a tragic
Well,
hero.
it's in the middle of
Got
the baseball game.
superpowers and no one loves me.
that's Superman Returns.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Superman Returns.
No,
Right.
so I'm approaching as a huge Batman fan. I wasn't as into the teaser. I think it's a good teaser. It didn't really do what what I had hoped for me.
See, for me, Batman is really the only superhero that I've ever cared anything for. And I'm not super keen on Zack Snyder beyond his visuals. Like Sucker Punch is an awesome music video.
I love that.
Yeah.
Music video.
Yeah.
It is so freaking cool as a music video, but as a movie, as a film,
what did you think of Man of Steel though?
Look, I liked Man of Steel except for the Deus Ex Machina or Machina, however you pronounce it, and Kevin Costner and Clark Kent as a kid.
Yeah.
But it's Russell Crowe. He was great.
Yeah.
But I can't stand the use of Kal-El. That's Superman.
Jor-El?
Jor-El.
Yeah.
Oh, as Jor-El. Yeah.
I can't stand how they write themselves into a corner.
This is what
and
Juan
they
does,
go,
everybody.
Yeah.
Because they talk too much and waste my time.
They write themselves into a corner and they go, oh, here, we'll just have Russell Crowe fix it.
So what did
explain the story.
What did Tom think of
Yeah,
the
but it's
trailer?
a different Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe's dad version as opposed to the Marlon Brando version, like you go way back. It's a whole different character.
They went with something completely different.
Yeah, which Crowe could not pull off what Brando did. Brando was purely a scientist and purely a head person, which is what it should be.
Right.
And Russell Crowe's character is slightly like everything.
They almost turned
slightly a little bit more warrior-esque.
I gotta say, I'm pretty excited for this one. Although
How excited?
I didn't
full erection or half erection?
Equus. Well, I wasn't a fan of Watchmen other than tone and visuals. Watchmen, I really like tone and visuals, but I feel like he was too faithful, and not everything works in the movie realm. It works as the literary. Yeah. It's like I don't need to see him building this huge clock.
What Tom Mars?
What do you mean by okay? Well, that's a whole other conversation we have.
What does Tom think of the trailer? Real quick, what does Tom? We gotta move along. What does Tom think of the trailer?
He's moving us along.
I didn't like it. No.
Wait, the trailer?
Wait, Star Wars?
I take that back. If I can finish my thought for once.
Yeah. We're gonna have a 2 beer
why didn't you
minimum.
finish it then?
For everything.
Yeah.
The trailer? Is that what you're talking about?
The trailer didn't move me. As a follow-up to Man of Steel, I went into it really wanting something better than what the previous iteration of the Superman movies were, and it just I wanted to like it, and then it just beat me over the head 3 times or 4 times at the end of the film when they had 5 different endings.
I do have to preface that, though. This is another film that Tom and I went to see at midnight.
You guys stop seeing movies
see a
together.
trend here?
Yes, you have to stop seeing movies together. But go on. All right.
And so I just, as soon as I heard that it was Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck?
What is your
Ben
problem
Affleck?
with Ben Affleck?
Oh, I like Ben Affleck as an actor.
He's a good actor. He's just people
Anyways,
have this
okay,
idea
let him
of
finish.
Geely and
Okay, go on.
finish.
But it's the same problem I had with when what's his face showed up.
Juan, let Tom finish.
Yes,
Okay,
Mike.
we'll just drink.
I've really enjoyed him in a lot of films. Argo, I really enjoyed him, but just Daredevil soured me, and now he's going after another.
Keep
He's
talking.
going after
Go for it,
another of these iconic superhero characters, and I
He's
just
going, or they came to
wait,
him and
wait.
asked him.
Well, let's talk about this after.
whether he's going for it or they came and asked him. I mean, they came to what is it? The Skull Rider motorcycle.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, Ghost Rider.
Mark Steven Johnson.
No, the actor.
Yeah, they went to Nicolas Cage.
No. In another film previously.
We're going off topic. We're going off topic.
For another
Just
film
you.
previously, they went to Nicolas Cage
Nicolas
to play
Cage was gonna
Superman.
be Superman.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Burton.
I remember. Yeah,
for Tim Burton, and
That was a wrong choice.
I would rather it be a fresh face, because so many Batmans have been Michael Keaton, who was one of my favorite Batmans of all time. Then we had 3 different Batmans after him in the sequels.
2.
You've only had
Val
2.
Kilmer,
Val Kilmer and George Clooney.
George Clooney,
and then
then
Christian Bale.
and then Christian Bale.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Well, no,
I thought you said- yeah.
and Christian Bale, I didn't enjoy. Deep voice aside, deep raspy voice aside.
I'll tell you right now, Batman-wise, that's my favorite Batman.
But I I don't see another
The rest
huge
of them,
name. There's
no.
too much baggage.
But
And as much as I
There's
love
too
Clooney,
much
and
baggage
as much as I
for
love
him.
Clooney and his shit, Clooney was like the wrong choice for that.
There's
Well,
too
that
much.
was
will tell you.
What's that?
Clooney will tell
That
you
was
too.
clearly,
I think
Clooney would tell me the same thing.
Yeah, he
but
would.
so the overall question is, why do we carry baggage to a film if there's an actor that we've liked? I mean, you say you've liked him in Argo. Are you going to be able to go in giving him a chance or no?
I don't see him as an action hero.
Okay, so
Just because he failed at Daredevil?
do you think
No,
do you think that Daredevil, what going off of what Sean was talking about, do you think that Daredevil was Ben Affleck's fault?
No,
because
I don't. I
can
don't
tell,
need- I can tell you
clearly
right now.
it's at least the director's fault.
No.
And then-
and then
and then-
the script's fault.
Yeah, the script's fault, but also do you think that Ben Affleck went into Batman going, yeah, I'll do that, no problem. I'm not even going to
No.
think twice. No, I guarantee you that was not an easy decision, unless it was purely money. Which at this point is not money.
Do you know the reality is for actors, the kiss of death is a superhero part.
Used to be.
I still believe it is. I still believe it is.
It can.
Still can be.
They have to consider it no matter what.
Right, yes.
Now
Because-
it's maybe the only
And
paycheck they'll get.
Superman was the biggest kiss of death. And now we're not talking Christopher Reeves. We're talking even way back earlier in
For
like
the TV. Yeah.
TV series.
Black and white.
Where these people were never allowed to go
George
anything else.
Lazenby. I'm joking.
You were never allowed to. So
joking.
to choose to play a superhero, it is really difficult. I think that probably Bale, obviously, is a good example, who's been able to break that. And I think the other one would have to be
Robert
Wolverine.
Downey Jr.
No,
Wolverine, yeah.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
More than Robert Downey Jr., but Wolverine.
Yeah.
Be able to break that and then go from that to musical.
And I
to
think
be
a
able to
lot of
apply
that, a lot of that is talent.
Boy, I think a
goes
lot
to
of that
It
as
goes
well
to
is,
that.
is exposure. How much exposure does the general audience have to that actor in other roles prior to
That's
playing
the point.
kids-
You talk about
the
Hugh Jackman.
superhero.
He was doing a lot of other stuff
Yeah.
that was completely different. I mean, the guy is not afraid of doing jazz hands.
Yeah.
No,
and many other.
and on live theater too.
That's what I'm saying. Is he's doing this big manly part, but then he's also doing these not so manly parts
Right,
at the same
right.
time that
And-
gives a broader range.
Did Christopher Reeves have the same exposure on a scale
I don't
similar
think
to
he
these
did.
other super, mega actors? Did he have the same exposure to the
I don't
audience?
think he had the opportunity.
I don't
because
think.
of what happened with the accident and all that. So I think that his story's a little different in that sense.
I want a fresh
But he
face
had
as
it.
Batman. I do not want.
You do. You got Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
No,
He's
that's
never been
not a
Batman.
fresh face.
So you're
Well,
talking about
here's-
Henry Cavill, which was a fresh face as Superman, and did you have a problem with him?
No, I've seen him in other films before.
I understand where he's come from. The
But he wasn't that exposed.
The bigger question is, this is a film for 9 to 17-year-old kids. That is their target
That's what I
audience.
think.
not
No,
true.
No. I'm just saying the majority of the money this
Well, then
franchise
you're
is
talking
going to
about
make.
every superhero film ever.
I know, but-
if
okay.
you're ever going to get a film that
Let me
isn't-
finish my point.
Right, we should just
let me
get this
finish my
shit over
sentence.
with.
Let me finish my sentence. The bulk of the people who are going to make money from this film have never even heard of
It
G.
won't be us.
That's what I'm saying. So, granted, they know who Ben Affleck is.
Yeah, you're starting to get into a different generation.
No one who is going to sell the bulk of the merchandise, and that's going to make 20 times more than the film is going to make in box office. No one really has the baggage from that market of who Ben Affleck is.
Yeah. Well, that's probably a good explanation why certain actors reinvent themselves or are rediscovered, like John Travolta or someone
Yeah.
like that.
Well, no, Robert
Samuel
Downey Jr.
L. Jackson.
Samuel L.
every
Jackson, what he's
15
doing with
years
the
or so, because-
Kingsman thing, it's like a whole different look. For
Okay,
him.
real quick.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson is in 8 movies a year. He reinvents himself every
No.
film.
So,
Yeah.
okay,
but I know
so
what
he-
you're trying to say.
But it was
but it's
Tarantino kind of brought him back onto the mainstream.
Samuel L. Jackson.
stage.
Samuel L. Jackson was made famous by Tarantino.
Yeah.
That's-
He had been working
was
for
so-
20 or 30
He was in.
years.
He was in. Was it Goodfellas? Scorsese. And
Nobody-
still wasn't.
Yeah.
No one
no.
really knew him before that.
Yeah, Goodfellas.
I don't think so. All right. So because we got, I do want to get to the follow thing and
I
wrap
could
this
be
thing
wrong.
up.
Could be Mean
So
Streets.
why aren't you googling? That's your thing.
No, it's okay. Okay, so
Oh, my battery's dead.
So everybody
What am I
agrees
Googling?
it's going to be a great year for movies.
No. I think.
yeah,
Listen,
In
I think
comparison
really
to
do.
last year, was crap.
So
Totally agree.
So
Yeah.
real quick,
Can we wrap
make
up the
this
flow?
quick. We want to talk about It Follows.
Yes,
Real briefly,
please.
we'll have.
I want to hear people's.
I don't know if it's going to be real brief.
Well, we're gonna make it 10 minutes. 10 minutes on the clock. 10 minutes on the clock.
And we never stick to the clock.
All right. Juan.
Yo,
It Follows.
You got 2.5 minutes.
that's exactly how I felt when I left the movie.
Really? Okay.
There is a lot of things that I liked about the movie, but there is an equal amount, or not even more, that I did not like about the movie. And I think here's how I'm going to describe. I've been thinking about this. This is like the really well wrapped present that you open up and it's an empty box, and that's exactly how I felt. Because I don't care what you do as an audience member, if I don't feel satisfied when I leave the theater, you messed up.
So Jason,
So,
Wow.
look, this film got 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
seriously?
Yeah, it's a horror
It's
film
huge.
that got 95%. So I go into it. I wasn't super overwhelmed by the trailer. I go into it and I'm, my wife really liked it. Everyone I've talked to loves it. They love the shots. They think it's They think it's scary. I see it.
There's two friends of ours that totally sold me on it
I know.
before we had that meeting.
I know. I went to it last night. I saw it and okay, so I really feel, for one, I was not scared. I wasn't creeped out. I feel like the guy had a bag of tricks that had 3 tricks in it, and he used it 40 fucking times.
It's a one note.
It's like the same. It's the same 2 or 3 shots reused through the entire thing. There are things that I like about it, but I think that a film called like House of the Devil used those same tricks way better and was actually scary. I just left the film.
We're moving on.
Tom?
Go. You're cut off.
All right.
Go.
I did jump. I did get sweaty palms at times, but
But that's a whole sex
You were
thing.
holding your dick at that time. Though.
ultimately it just to me it was a letdown. I wanted to enjoy it, but I think I was a bit. You and Mary had seen it, and I kind of got a bit of the like, okay, Tom, it's not going to say anything, but
Not going to say anything, but it's terrible. That's what they said.
yeah. Ultimately, nonverbal.
No, I never
communication.
said it was terrible.
It was
It was
nonverbal.
a letdown. It was a letdown.
It was nonverbal communication of like, we just wasted 2.5 hours that we could have been getting work done.
I did not ever say that.
Like I said,
100 minutes.
nonverbal communication. It wasn't there. It wasn't there. It fell short. It felt really kind of rough as far as the music drove me nuts.
No, it's not
Really?
even go there. Oh,
Yeah,
my
I
God.
actually like the music.
It kind of felt like they were going for.
Oh my God! that
It was
just-
trying to go
So
for the Halloween.
hard.
The Halloween.
Well, yeah,
kind
I
of
was
vibe.
trying to.
I almost thought it was kind of a drive, like kind of they were going for that kind of soundtrack where they're
Kind of, yeah.
similar to Drive, but it fell short and it felt out of place and awkward and
awkward
Yeah.
is the big.
So
is the
real
big
quick,
word.
so right away, I loved it.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Well, it had to be.
No, here's
because
the thing.
most people do.
Yeah.
This is I loved almost every moment.
my
This isn't a
God.
spoiler, but I love when they build up to this big plan on how to kill it, and the plan didn't work.
No, I like-
I thought that was pretty funny. However, I will say there was this idea that they had this really good idea. They maybe wrote themselves into some situations that they never really wrote themselves out of, as well as the situation they wrote themselves
other
into.
than Drive Away.
Well, no, but I mean that's kind of the whole idea, is that the only way to really get away
Why
from
don't
this
you just
killer
get
is
on
to
a
drive
freaking
away.
plane and go across the ocean?
You can, and the thing will follow you, but it's implied
It's
that
gotta walk across
No.
the fucking ocean.
no, that's true, and that's the idea. You can drive 5 towns over, and it'll get to you in 2 days. Or you can drive across, but it's always going to come after you. So
Sure. No, I
the
understand.
concept is a
Understand.
really good concept. I think, again, it had one of those films where, and I will always use the ambiguous ending, where it has that ending where you're not 100% sure what's happening in the last shot. It could be a fake scare. It could be something different. It's not a
when
scare.
they were-
See, the
the last-
person in the back
the
was
guy-
looking to the side, so clearly they'd already set if they're following any rules. That's not a.
I
But
think
no, that's the problem with the script, though, and this is the
Is
argument.
that they don't follow
they,
their own rules.
they set up these rules, and then they kind of like don't really follow them later. The other big aspect, the other broad stroke aspect issue that I had with it, it was that I hate to say this, I can't figure out exactly what this was shot for.
it was shot
Mary-
for $2 million.
Oh, good, because Mary and I had an argument. I said, "There's no way this was more than $1.5 million."
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it.
So probably shot for, because it did get picked up, let's just assume shot for maybe even close to under $1 million, and then the final.
Yeah, and then it had a state incentive because it was in Detroit and all that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, right, yeah.
there's certain aspects. Again, this is the kind of movie that I would tell my film friends to watch.
Yeah.
But there's no way I would ask a non-film person to watch.
So
it
what
because-
would your rating be as we're wrapping
Oh,
up?
you
quick?
can't. I can't. I just.
You got
you
it.
can.
Yeah.
I can give it.
You know what? I'll be honest. If I have to give it 2 ratings, I'll give it a rating conceptually what they wanted, what they were they were playing with to try to do. I wish that they didn't succeed. Their concept, I think it was like about a 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Right? Well, their execution of that concept though, I will be honest. Everything from the music, editorial, the performances were just painful sometimes for
I
me.
felt like it was a
a
crappy short
film. They just got stretched, right?
They know it's like wink, wink. We're acting.
Right.
It's funny what
Yeah.
we're doing. The
Right.
dialogue is
It's like
clever,
atrocious.
but no.
So Jason, what would you?
So wait, I didn't
Oh
finish
well,
with my
we got
score.
we got you got 10 seconds. Oh, please don't.
I think that the film itself though is about two.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. 2.5. Look, there's some pretty shots in it, but I feel like the bag of tricks was emptied pretty quickly. I was pretty bored. It did get me to jump a few times, but to me, honestly, the jump scares are like
They're an autonomic response.
well, they're like a knock knock joke in a comedy. They may work, but they're almost never earned.
Yeah.
And
Tom,
yeah.
So Tom, score.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2. It felt like a cheap sexploitation film.
Really?
Just any chance to show, and I'm surprised we haven't made any jokes about you loving this film and your love of young naked women.
There's not all the naked people in it. It's older naked men.
Well, the mom was kind of.
come
No.
I don't remember any hot
The mom that kills the guy.
There's only one
I'm
naked
not
man.
just talking naked.
I don't
I'm
remember any
talking
of them
about
being attractive.
I'm
that's-
saying any chance to show a
I'll
young
tell
nubile
you-
body in a swimsuit.
One thing I was really worried
less.
about was when our heroine goes to bed with like the little nerd dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was so opened up for like he's total virgin. You know, it's like boop, it's done. You know,
Yeah.
and that didn't come. It would have
So-
been. I
There's
actually would
also
have
the problem with the guys on the boat where it just cut and it's like,
she slept with all 3 of them, and one of them didn't go.
but then
Yeah, so I thought I said a 2.
Okay.
But it's a weak 2. What about you, Sean?
I'm gonna give it a solid 4. I was
Oh my god!
sorry. What it all comes down to, I was
look, we're the weird ones.
Yeah.
Everyone freaking loved it.
I was always
I get it.
entertained, and the one thing that I've told people about it is if this was a $1.5 to $2 million film, I think it was a good example of how you can make a horror film for little to no money.
Bullshit.
In the bigger
Bullshit. You want to watch a movie you can do that with? Go watch Mute Witness.
Oh, okay.
Go watch Mute
House of
Witness.
the Devil for me.
Okay.
House of the
So-
Go watch Mute Witness and House of the
Okay,
Devil.
so
and then you tell me
we
how you
agree
make
to
a good
disagree.
horror
No.
film. And then the gentleman across the room, way better than the
No,
thing we
that's
just
fine.
watched.
No, that's fine. And I agree. We do disagree. But I will also say that I did go see Unfriended last night, and I thought it was really well executed, and I think everybody should check that out for a future podcast.
No, I totally agree with you.
think I would-
Because not skeptical. I'm concerned about the format and concept.
Yeah.
But I think what I would love to do.
I think
If
it
you guys
actually
would be
it has to be. If it's going to take that format and make it to the
Yeah.
theaters, it's got to be better than
Okay,
this.
so here's what I would like to do because it's completely different, and I've been pushing this, and I know sometimes I push a certain film for a reason. I would love the fact if we could do next time we get together, do your Unfriended,
Yeah.
but then I also want to do oh shoot, the Duff Girl thing.
The Duff.
Duff.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's in theater
because
anymore.
it's not in theater anymore. It's out. But the point is, that's dealing with social media and the whole internet stuff.
Yeah.
Which in a whole different
What
level.
about Men, Women, and Children?
I don't know that one.
That's it's a Jason Reitman film with Adam Sandler and a bunch of other people.
All right, let's package that
We'll
together.
figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So thanks everybody. Thanks for our second video podcast. Thanks for watching. Of course, we're made possible by IronGoatBrewing.com, Kaufman and Associates. They're at KaufmanInc.com, and the Spokane Film Project is made possible by O'Doherty's Irish Pub and Grill in downtown Spokane. By the time you're hearing this, we'll be just a couple of days away from the 50-hour slam.
Which I'm going to be
event.
very selfish. I'm going to my primary push. 50-hour slam playing at the Bing Crosby Theater. Some amazing local stuff. Some great projects. We'll also have an amazing band that night. Other artistic events going on, and we're really hoping that we can get the community to come out and join like they did last year. Increase the numbers. Not so much so we make money. It's not about us making money.
Yep.
It's about the community experiencing it. The most satisfactory thing I ever got from last year's performance really did not, or last year's screening, didn't happen until earlier this year when I ran into Michael Smith from the Bing Crosby Theater at another event at the Bing Crosby, and he said that he was literally sitting next to someone who was going, "You guys are bringing back that 50-hour slam thing, right? Because that was a blast."
Yeah.
They're not aware of it, and they're already thinking about it, and that's what I'm going. So hopefully, check the website, check the information, but please come out and attend or let people know that it's going on.
And we had done some special 50-hour slam episodes, so you'll probably hear those reposted or posted up right before that. So yeah, for sure. So yeah,
is that it?
that's all. Look at that.
We got Z Nation season 2 starting.
Yeah.
just
true.
a few days.
And I think it's the
What happened?
nothing.
He leaves the cap off of the beer.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
easier to pour,
Yeah,
and he
anyway.
knocked it over.
So, thank you to Kaufman and Associates. Or
So we're just
It's not dirty, I swear. It's okay.
Yeah.
But no, I think I've already talked to Carl. I've already talked to John, and I've already talked to Abram. Maybe having a repeat of them coming. Maybe once we're deeper into the season.
Yeah.
and
Well,
the
I think we
season's
should
up
try
and
to get
grass.
some of the cast on as well.
Like I
That'd be
said, I
awesome.
talked to Carl. I'd like to get those three guys together in the room because
Yeah.
they really have become the creative force of that show.
Oh, and
You
we
know?
should also give a shout out. The Lilac City Comic Con is coming up at the end of May. We'll have dates for that, and we'll want to get. We'll probably have the organizer of that on the podcast too soon to kind of talk about that because will be the first year it's at the convention center, and it's definitely going to be a much bigger event than previous years. It's grown over the years. It's the last weekend of May, so it should be really, really cool. So we'll get Nathan on there.
stay tuned on finding out what's going on with
Oh, with this, yeah, exactly, yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Hulk on the
So
face.
yeah, according to everything I've looked at, I will probably be dead in 6 months. So let's see what happens.
We'll have a special podcast for that.
Well, I see. That's what I want. I want.
A very special episode.
There we go.
Very special episode.
Yeah.
But it will be totally irreverent. You know
Oh
that.
man. Okay. Anyways, all right.
We
Well,
might
good night.
invite your girl though.
Many of my ladies.
No,
Hillary
you're
Duff?
the one exactly.
We wouldn't be able to get
Does that
it.
mean it
I
has to
can, if he dies, we can get Hillary
Loving
Duff.
memory?
We do the whole last
Yeah.
wish thing.
It'd probably be your publicist. Come on,
I
let's
work
be
with
honest.
Wishing Star Foundation in
Yes.
town. So
yes, and I know one of the ladies that work there. We can put the whole
Sarah.
wish for you.
There we
to get
go.
Hillary Duff to come down. That's your last wish.
It would probably be her publicist.
You know what's
Thank you
really
very
funny?
much, everyone. You have a good night.
Okay.
Way to go, Tom. We could have gone on for hours.
Yes, we could have.
And we could have enjoyed
How's it
ourselves.
Hey, Ron.